Sneakerheads and basketball enthusiasts alike, we are back with performance review for the JA2s. I know I'm a little late on that. We'll get into that later. But before we get into that, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe button if you like what you've seen before, or you like what you see today. I will just say, this is a refilm. I originally filmed this, I think, before January. The date says January 4th, but I think it was before that. I think I uploaded it into my computer January 4th. It's March 6th, so it is what it is. This is where we're at. But let's get right into it. As usual, we'll get right into the traction, which is what we always get into. For the traction here, you have a storytelling traction. If you guys could see that pattern, it's just it's interesting. Apparently, this is based off of a tractor tire. So like the treads on a tractor tire. I believe the story is that Ja used to do a bunch of box jumps like every day. Like that's how he got hops. Just he gave the amount. It was something ridiculous every day, and that's like I said, that's how he got bounced. So that's where you get this storytelling traction here. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really have any issues with it. I did look, obviously, like I said, this is a refilm, so I watched the film over again. It just like I performance tested in many different areas, and I never really had any issues with it. I will go back to my notes just to double check what I said there. Yeah, nothing. I never said pretty much anything. Pretty much anything about traction. At one point I did write great core, great everything, and that's just normal. When you do have a great core, even the worst tractions are usually going to perform pretty well when you have a great core, right? Like an NBA core is made to have just the greatest. You're supposed to be able to not slip and fall in that, right? That's why they clean it and they maintain it in that type of form. But that's what I got for traction. So I know I really just kind of breezed through it, but it's because it was that good. So we can actually just move on up, and from there we can go into cushioning. For cushioning, I believe it was an air zoom unit in the forefoot that you had, and then the cushioning, they never actually put out a press release that said what was in there. From what I heard, it was Cushlon. I didn't have any. It was actually not that I didn't have any issues with it. It was just that it was surprisingly good compared to like the first one, or the Ja one, should I say? It was so good, in fact, that like I could actually feel the cushion difference in the forefoot in the different areas. So I would say like the unit had to be somewhere around here, and then I could actually feel when my toes weren't touching like the airbag, and that's just like how high it was and how much cushion it provide. And then the cushion in the heel, it was also just that good. Like I do remember landing, I'm like, wow, this is very comfortable. And obviously I'm not Ja Morant, I'm not a high flyer, I'm not doing windmills and all that crazy stuff that he's doing. So I'm not landing with the type of impact that he is. I'm also not jumping with the type of force that he's putting into the ground and putting into his shoes. But I did feel it, and I did appreciate that. What I will say is, for me personally, I love a ton of cushioning, mostly in the heel. People, when they put cushioning in the forefoot, I mean, it's okay for me, but the heel is really what I look for, because I have bad heels. I don't know what it is. Probably walking around in boots all the time. That's my specific issue. Not everybody likes that. Most people like the forefoot, and if you do like forefoot cushioning, I believe this has it here for you. And then from that we can move on up into lockdown. And like I say in every performance review, lockdown is composed of materials and the laces and the heel counter and all of those specific things. They all encompass lockdown. So you can go into the materials here. For the materials, you have this weird like plasticky leather stuff. I don't know what this is. It was okay, I guess. And then you have ballistic mesh on the medial portions, and then on the toe box. And it's actually the toe box, and it runs up to the little like cushiony part on the tongue. You have just a regular like open kind of mesh. Nothing wrong with the material. I didn't have any issues with it. This is going to be the theme, just really no issues. What I will say is that the material provided little to no breathability. Actually, on my first test, I specifically said, let's see, didn't realize till I took them off, but my socks were moving around, and then I put underline. I underlined everything, and then I put in capitals, come back to this. Come back to this was kind of just a reminder for every time I put in the notes, just make sure that you pay attention to whether there was breathability. I will be honest and say that I didn't really notice it until, I didn't really notice it again. I said it until maybe 2 or 3 times after I played that time. I said she was great, but the breathability ain't the greatest, so you're also getting rubbing on the feet. Wear good socks. Wear good socks. That's the solution to that. Uh, I didn't put out my 2024 best basketball sneakers list. If I did, and if I still do plan to, there will be another sneaker up there, and I looked up there because there will be another sneaker on the list that will be high on the list. It's the AE1s that doesn't have breathability. Look, for me, breathability isn't a big deal as long as it's not impacting the way I play, and it didn't impact the way I play, so I don't care. Just gonna put it out there. I really don't care about breathability. Once again, that's my personal preference. It could be something different for everybody else, but for me personally, I don't care. Like it would have to be something drastic where my shoes were just, or my socks were just like soaking wet and constantly moving around, where I say, yeah, man, this is really bad. Like find some type of solution, but it's not that bad. So to wrap this all up, I will go back to one of my notes. This was the second time I put them on. I will say the first time I played in them for 2.5 hours, the second time I played in them for an hour and a half, and I said, could be the perfect guard shoe. Could be the perfect guard shoe. So that should really tell you how I feel about these. I didn't change. I don't think I really changed my mind when I as I continue the performance test. They could be the perfect guard shoe for me. Maybe not for you. The cushioning is great for me. The traction is great. The materials aren't bad. Don't really care about materials as long as they don't impact my gameplay. Lockdown is pretty good. There's no issues. It could just be the perfect guard shoe. I will try and get film. I don't know if I have film on my phone of me playing in them. I enjoyed playing in these quite a lot. So much so that, like I said, I filmed these in January, which means I've been playing in them since maybe December, maybe November. And they were still out of the box up until yesterday. If I keep a sneaker out of the box and I don't put them right away after I performance test them, it's because I usually wear them again. What I do is when I'm performance testing something and I know that I'm about to go play serious competition, I'll bring 2 sneakers. I'll bring the sneakers that I'm performance testing, and I'll bring real sneakers. So if the sneakers that I'm testing are terrible and not performing well and I want to play serious, I'm going to go and switch to these sneakers that I know are going to perform well. And I did bring these along on many occasions. Are they in the bag right now? The sneakers I'm performance testing right now aren't bad, so they're not in the bag right now. But this is one of those options that I know, hey, I can just go back to this and this will perform well and I won't have any of those issues. So that's my thoughts on those. Thank you guys for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you like what you've seen before. If you like what you saw today, is the only lane. I'm out of here. You guys have a good one.